I got here and now all of a sudden it's clouded over. There's a little bit going on over this way, so we might be in for some luck. We might get some colour over that way. Got a nice little rainbow up there too. So let me know what the audio's like. Hopefully the audio's okay. And yeah, come along for the ride and watch this sunset in Hervey Bay. So yeah, let me know what the audio's like. Now I've forgotten my cable today, so we're going to be handheld, and I'm going to have my son holding the camera. So if it gets wobbly, you can blame him. But yeah, look, it could be a short stream. It depends on what that sun does. Because it's so cloudy, we might not even get blue hour. Audio's great. Thanks, Matt. How are ya? Got some northerlies kicking in this weekend, which could be good. So yeah, audio's good. Yeah, I've got Jack on the camera tonight, so I'll give him a quick rundown of how it all works. But yeah, hopefully we get some colour. It would be nice. But as per usual, even if we don't get any colour, we're going to concentrate on foreground and just see what we can do with what we've got. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about getting out there in any sort of conditions and seeing what you can get out of what you've got. So yeah, look, there's plenty going on up there. So it looks quite nice. And I reckon, yeah, we could have some fun with the editing side of this. If we don't get what we want, we'll make what we want. All right, so I'll hand over the phone. All right, so hello, and thanks for joining again. So yeah, Jack's on the camera today. I've forgot my gimbal. So look, we've got big tides at the moment. Full moon tomorrow night. So yeah, full moon, big tides. And my plan is that right on sunset, I'm going to be up underneath the mangrove trees. So for now, I'm basically just waiting for that sun to set, hopefully get some colour. And in the meantime, wait for the water to push up over these rocks. Because at the moment, there's not a lot happening out here. As the tide gets higher, all these waves will get bigger. And yeah, with the sky like this, I'm not going to take too many shots just yet. I took a few before I started the stream, and they're just very uninteresting. Okay, a grey sky. There's not a lot going on. So yeah, we'll just wait till that tide comes in and gets a bit higher, and things hopefully will get a little bit more interesting. So yeah, stick with us. I don't know if I'll stay for blue hour. The problem with blue hour, when you've got clouds, blue hour doesn't really work. Okay, you sort of need that clear sky. There's a little bit of sky over this way, so that could light up, but we'll see how we go. I think we'll wait for sunset. Hopefully we get a little bit of colour at sunset. But yeah, it's nice just to be out, okay? It's nice to be out and enjoying the outdoors. Probably should have bought a fishing rod, but we're out here. All right. Have we got anyone in the chat at the moment? Just Matt? All right. So yeah, bear with us. I'll start taking some photos soon and just get everything kind of lined up and see what we can get, see what we can do. And yeah, it's days like this when there's not a lot going on, we can kind of have a little bit of fun with editing and bring out some texture in the sky. We could almost go for like a darker moody type. Black and whites even might work well. Generally when it's grey and overcast, black and whites do work well. So I plan to do a couple of shots and we'll remove those, the channel markers. G'day Ultimate, how are you? I was just thinking of you then when you said to remove things. What we'll do is we'll remove some of those channel markers. So I'll frame up a couple of shots so we've got them in our shot. And just show you, there's a couple of different ways we can remove them. So yeah, hopefully this sky does something soon. Hopefully. So yeah, so just sort of waiting for that tide. My plan is to get my favourite little tree, which is back over this way. So as you can see, we've got a lot of tide to go before the water gets up there. Okay, and yeah, with the full moon, we're going to get a big tide. Okay, I think we've got a 4.1 metre tide tonight. So round about sunset, it should be up around that tree. So that's when we're going to get some more interesting photos. Kind of the place, this is where I did my very first live stream. But yeah, the audio was terrible, so I'm going to sort of recreate what I did that night and hopefully get a pretty epic sky. Look, there's potential up there. There is potential, especially over this way, which I'm not keen on framing up over the mainland. Okay, I'd rather sort of have my frame up out this way, have a little bit of that mainland over here sort of creeping in from the side. But yeah, look, we'll work on compositions once we start to get a bit more colour in the sky. So I might have a bit of a play around. I can see some rocks down here, so I might just go and frame something up just so we're not standing around doing nothing. But yeah, look, I'm pretty confident we'll get something out of that sky. Sort of, I can see a bit of a clearing on the horizon. So when you've got that clearing on the horizon and some nice high clouds, sometimes you can get some good colour. The only problem is out that way it's very grey. So that's what we don't want. Everything is coming from the south, so everything's coming from this way. So hopefully that clearing there will start to push out to the right, and then we could be in for a pretty epic sunset if that happens. So stick with me. Knots on the Bay is home. Yeah, good. Thank you for doing that. It's been a bit of a rough start. I've forgotten my glasses, which I sort of don't need them until I drive home. So I could have been driving home half blind. And I forgot the gimbal clamp for my camera. So Jack's here being the cameraman at the moment. So I'm going to hand it back to Jack and I'll go and get something framed up. Excuse the fingers over the frame. Is that still working? Did I turn it off?
Still working.
Still working? Okay, good. All right, let's go and frame something up. See, now that the tide's coming in, these waves are getting bigger. And that's kind of what I want. I want some nice bigger waves. Yeah, the sky's looking okay. Let's go and get something framed up. So if you just stay on the nice flat rocks. Yeah, come over here. So I'm just giving Jack directions at the moment because I'm an idiot and I left my gimbal at home. Okay. So because we've got an incoming tide, everything's dry, okay? So we don't need to worry about slippery rocks. As you can see here, it's been low tide for about the last 2 hours, so everything's bone dry. So this is a really good time to come out on rocks because as the tide pushes in, you just move back over the dry rocks. So down here, I really like what's going on down here. We've got some nice shiny rocks. So I'm just going to frame something up over here. And I'll grab the camera in a second so I can show you what I'm doing. And yeah, tide's coming in very quick, so it's going to be one of those nights where we are going to be moving around a lot. So this shot here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame it up with those channel markers in the background. And that's looking pretty good. I'm going to focus about halfway out into the scene. Just wait for some waves to roll in, get that water movement as per the last video. And again, I'm just going to take a few shots for my foreground. So exposing for the foreground first. Get some of that water movement crashing over the rocks. Here comes a nice wave now. And we'll get that one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. It's not great, but it's okay. Like I said, this is just sort of just filling in time at the moment. I like what's going on down here. So I'm watching the water crash over these rocks down here. Let me grab that. And it gets that nice little waterfall effect. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's good. And you know what? I can almost get everything in one shot here. So as that tide comes in, we start to get that nice whitewash. Here comes a couple of waves now. Yeah, look, the sky's looking okay. The sky's looking okay. Okay, I'm just going to wait. There's another big wave out the back. I'm going to wait for this one, get that whitewash on its way out. Getting some really nice reflections on the rocks too, which looks good. And you'll probably notice how low I am. Because I've got a wide angle lens, let me get that. Because I've got a wide angle lens, get down low, get down close to your foreground, because the wide angle lens will just enhance everything in your foreground and still get all that sky in your shot as well. Yeah, that's really nice. And you know what? I don't even need to do multiple exposures. Because that sun's so diffused, I'm getting everything in one shot. So this is, you know, when the sun's like this and it's nice and diffused, you can get everything in one shot. So I'm slightly, I wouldn't say underexposing, but I'm just watching my highlights. And my highlights are kind of, they are clipping because there is a little bit of the sun up there, but I don't care. If it's only a tiny little bit of clipping, it doesn't worry me. That's nice. Okay, one more. And see, look how quickly that tide's coming in. Okay, that's not bad. I'm just going to get one more. And yeah, look, I'm not even going to bother doing multiple exposures for that. So I'll be able to show you that one in the editing, how we can get everything in one shot. That's better. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. I'm just going to, I want some water down this side now. So now I've got my water flow on this side. We might do another bit of an exposure blend on this one too. So get that over there. I want a bigger wave. We'll get one more bigger wave over this side. I might be waiting a while. Come on. Here it comes. And get that as it crashes over there. That's better. That's nice. Okay, good. That'll do for that spot. Okay, I've got enough shots there. And see, as the tide's coming in, now it'll start to get slippery. But I'm on dry rocks already. So now I'm back on the dry. And that's a good thing about incoming tides. Incoming tides, you're generally walking over dry rocks as you push back. Now we just need to keep an eye on my camera bag. So I'll go and grab my camera bag before that washes away. Nah, it's okay. I think we'll manage. Yeah, we've got some really nice sunbeams now. So let me go and see if I can frame something else up while we've got those sunbeams coming through. And I'm just going to make sure I keep my bag dry, high and dry. That's going to be Jack's job, to keep an eye on all my gear and film. Yeah, all right. You know what? I'm going back where I was, because you can see some really nice side light on the rocks over there. Yeah. Let me grab that for a bit and I'll just bring you over. Give Jack a rest. All right, so I'm going to get into the water for this shot. But yeah, there's some really nice side light on these rocks. So that's kind of what I want. I want to try and get them leading out towards the sun. So let me go out and frame. I'll give the camera back to Jack. Yeah, really nice light now. Now I'm just going to get up a little bit higher. I don't want the waves crashing over the camera. Yeah, sort of. Actually, you know what? Let's get that one out. That's a nice wave. Yeah, this is good. Get some really now that the sun's out, I don't want to be shooting directly into the sun, so I'm going to frame it up so the sun's kind of out of the shot. I can probably even get up a bit higher to tell the truth. Just check that the tripod's nice and solid. Yeah, see, now the sun is literally a fireball. So this is where I sort of don't want the sun in my shot. So I'm going to frame it up just out of the shot. Let's get up to, let's try that and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm getting all this side light, nice golden light at the moment. Not too worried about waves at the moment. I really just want all that light on the rocks. Tide's coming in very quick. And again, because I've got the sun out of my frame, I don't need to worry about highlights too much. I'm just going to get up a bit higher. Okay, and once again, I don't need to worry about framing up too much sky, because there's nothing going on up high, it's all on the horizon at the moment. So by getting up a little bit higher, I can shoot a bit more downwards. Yeah, quickly that tide's coming in. Let's get over here a bit more. Just get a nice solid footing. Right, the rocks are starting to get slippery now. Just trying to find a nice solid spot for the tripod. Okay, so I'm just pushing the tripod every now and then just to make sure that it is nice and solid. Okay, and again, I'm just gonna, no, tripod's moving there. Okay, that's it. Let's just quickly get this shot and move on. No, I'm losing the rocks. I'm losing the rocks too quickly. Yeah, it's a problem when you work with tides like this. They come in very quickly. Now, I'm just going to splash some water on here to get reflections rather than wait for the tide. So just by wetting the rocks, we get that nice reflection. So that's a little bit of a cheat. Okay, now this time I am going to put the sun in my frame because it's all diffused again. Where's that rock in the foreground? Let's come back a little bit further. That's nice, that's nice. Now I've got an MD filter on at the moment, which I probably don't need. Try and get my horizon nice and straight. Okay. And now, this is one of those cases where now that I'm framed up, what I want to do, I actually want to wait for the waves to start crashing over this rock. So I'm just going to wait for that tide to come in a little bit more. So hopefully you're enjoying this, because yeah, it's starting to look nice. We've got some blue, we've got some orange. There's a bit going on up there. Okay, I'm going to take it out to a 1 second exposure. So here comes a wave now. Let's see if it gets over. It's not going to. This next one might. But I'm just going to take a few shots while I'm waiting. And this is one of those spots where you don't need to worry too much about water movement because we've got that nice glow on the rocks. So as long as you can keep something interesting in your foreground, doesn't have to be water all the time. Sometimes just the rocks with a nice golden glow on them can make for some really cool shots. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, what I'm going to do, I can almost take that filter off to tell the truth. Oh, that was the one I was waiting for. We're almost there. I just want to, you know what, I'm going to do a bit of a focus stack because I've just gone down to f6.3 just to let some more light into the camera. Wait for this. That wave's not going to quite make it. Rather like what I've got framed up here. Let's see if this one will get over. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's good. That's really nice. Okay, I'll grab the camera and I'll show you what I've got framed up. Give Jack a bit of a rest. Okay, so here's what I've got framed up. What I'll do is I'll brighten everything up for you to see. So in the foreground, I've got that big rock in the foreground. I'm kind of waiting for the waves to crash over that. And again, I'm sort of at that just over half a second shutter speed to get that waterfall effect. And as you can see, we've got the sun. The sun's really coming in on this side. So I will do another exposure for that sky. But yeah, just sort of just waiting for that water to crash over the rock. So here comes a wave now, and that's a good thing about the incoming tide. We can kind of wait until the water gets to where we want it. Okay, so that's the rock. That's kind of what I've got framed up. The phone does a better job than the camera as far as video goes. So here comes a wave now. Here's a good wave out the back. We'll wait for this one to roll in. It's not going to quite get there. But yeah, just sort of having something in our foreground that's quite interesting while the sky's where it is. It's not exactly epic at the moment. Okay, I suppose I should read some of the chat too. Okay, so Kat's just saying that she's delivered the glasses. All right, there's a wave. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, nice. Okay, that's good. I still want a bigger wave. So I'm going to this one. Yep, it's a double. Yeah, that's nice. That's good. Okay, and I'm getting all these in one shot. So what we're going to do today is mainly do it all in one exposure. That's a good one. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, again, the sun isn't exactly epic at the moment. I'm hoping for some more colour. There were whales just out from you this morning. Oh, yeah, I've heard there's been a few whales this year out in Gattaca's Bay. Here comes a nice wave. Let's a couple of good sets rolling through now. Here comes a really good one out the back. So I'm just going to wait for this one to roll in. 2-second timer. Didn't quite get there. This one might. No, still not. All right, I'll give the phone back to Jack again. And you know what? I'm going to have to take this filter off because we're starting to get a little bit too dark. Actually, no, you know what? I'll leave it on and I'll do a couple at 1 second exposure just so you can kind of see the difference between a 1 second exposure and that half a second. You find that it just gets a little bit more mushy. Okay, but again, all personal preference. Some people might prefer this look to the slightly faster. So you know what, let's go up to 2 seconds and get a nice 2 second exposure. Just so I can show you a couple of different, and why I always say shoot at different shutter speeds. Okay, the longer the shutter speed, the more smoother the water will get. So here comes a good wave now. Yeah, I love my 1 second, my half a second shutter speed. And what I'm even going to do, because I know my wife mentioned getting some with a fast shutter speed. So let's just quickly go up to a fast shutter speed. And I'll show you that as well. Okay. I'm not going to get a super fast shutter speed just because we're kind of losing light. Let's get one. We'll get that one. And here comes another good one. That one's not too bad. Here comes another one. That one's not too bad. And we'll get one more at a fast shutter speed. So I'm going to sort of show you the difference between our different shutter speeds. Oh, that one's not too bad either. Alright, so what we'll do now, yeah, I had to shoot at high ISOs then just to get that faster shutter speed. So let me get back to roughly where I want my settings. And we'll start doing some long exposures. Like the sky, again, it's not doing a lot. Alright, we're almost up to that tree. I think I've got enough shots here. Let's move. I think I've got enough shots here. Just watch your footing now. Jack's in bare feet. But yeah, these rocks, they shouldn't be too slippery, just a bit prickly. Yeah, so the water's starting to lap up against my tree now. Give me the camera. Right, and sort of, I'm still keeping an eye on that sky. It's not doing, you know, not doing what I was hoping for. Looks pretty out there. Love cloudy days. Yeah, look, me too. I really like cloudy days. So there's still hope that we'll get some colour. And look, there's enough up there that I'm pretty happy with what I've got so far, to tell the truth. I'll go through them a little bit later. But yeah, like I love some really nice reflections on the rocks. Some nice water movement. Sort of experimented a bit more today too. Rather than sticking with my favourite half a second shutter speed, I've gone for a few slower ones, a few quicker ones. So the editing process will be, you know, a little bit different to the last stream where it was all about that half a second exposure. And now we're going to have some faster exposures, slower exposures, some slightly underexposed this time rather than doing multiple exposures. I've kind of got a little plan how we can try and get everything in one exposure rather than exposure blending. So I sort of touched on it with the last stream, where you can make a compromise. You can sort of lose a little bit of highlight, lose a bit of shadow, and try and get most of it back. G'day Claudia, how are you? Look, better late than never. And I think you've come at the right time because it's starting to look good. So I'm going to stop talking crap and go and start taking some photos. Do you want to grab my bag for me? Sorry, I've got Jack out here. If you hear me talking to someone, apart from myself, that's going to be Jack. So I'll get Jack set up. So now this is one of my mini favourite trees, but really like this one because I love some green in my shot. Okay, and as you can see, get some really nice leading lines, water, rocks. This is everything that I like about an image. Bit of green, bit of blue, bit of orange, lots of colour. The last editing live was super helpful. Oh, cheers, thanks Ultimate. Yeah, I'm still getting into a flow. Like I watched it back and I ended up skipping through half of it because I thought I talked too much. So I think going forward, I'll probably just start editing straight away and save all my explaining for the simple and effective videos. So the lives it's all here just so I can chat to people really and get out. All right, now I need to stop chatting because the sky's actually doing stuff. And another thing that I love is we have no wind. Because we've got no wind, everything's looking really nice. Okay, so yeah, look, let me just get framed up here. This is one of those shots. You don't need to be down super low, but getting some really nice colour in that sky now. Really nice colour. And when the sky starts to do this, you don't really need to worry about your foreground too much. Okay, so now I can go back up to my optimal settings. So I'm going to go up to F10 just for depth of field, because I do want all that foreground in my shot. Actually, you know what? I do want to get down lower. I don't like the way the tree's kind of blending in with my foreground. So I'm going to get down nice and low. And this will only get better as the tide comes in. So let's see, it's kind of weird because we've got all the leading lines are heading out this way, but our sun's over that way. So kind of working on a triangle type composition here, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. Yeah, I definitely need some more water. Don't really like what I've got framed up there. Gonna get out. And this is the good thing about wide angles, like, don't know how I'm basically standing right next to this tree. Okay, so with a wide angle, I can afford to get up nice and close and still get the tree in my shot. So that's one of the many reasons I love a wide angle lens. You can really get close to your foreground. So I'll show you what I've got framed up, and I'll just sort of run through how we're going to get this shot. Take my sunnies off, I don't really need them on. So let me grab the camera. We've spun the camera around. Let me just spin that back. There we go. Okay. So let me go into the wide angle just so we get a better look at it. Okay, so that's nice wide angle. So look at that for a frame already. The greens, the oranges, the blues, like a bit of everything. And now you look at what the camera looks like. Okay, absolutely no colour, no vibrance. So for all those people that just like to get everything in one shot, just use a phone. Just exposes everything a lot better. You'd think that a very expensive camera would do, and it does. Look, talking crap again. You just got to work a bit harder with a camera. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to expose for my foreground. Okay, and again I'm watching my histogram. So this time I'm watching to the left to make sure my shadows aren't too dark. And then what I'll do is I'll take another shot. So look at the dynamic range. So now our highlights are, so again, now I'm looking at the right side of the histogram, getting that histogram as far to the right as I can without blowing my highlights. And then I've got to go all the way down here to get that shadow detail. So this is where we kind of need 2 exposures now. So I'm going to do my foreground first. I'm going to frame, zoom in. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. What I'm going to do is manually zoom in, okay, and just kind of focus on that rock about there. And shooting at f10, I can kind of get everything in one shot, but we will do a bit of a focus stack as well. Okay, so I'm just going to brighten that up even more, just to get all my highlight detail, or shadow detail I should say. Grab that shot. And then I'll do another exposure for the sky. Because yeah, look, the phones have built-in processing where they reduce your highlights and lift your shadows. So that's why, you know, looking through this phone, everything looks perfect. Where once you see my raw files, they're going to look completely lifeless and flat, dull, dark. So that's where, with a camera, we need to actually do 2 exposures to capture all that detail. Okay, you know, you can change all your settings in the camera. Change your dynamic range. That only affects JPEGs though. So if you're shooting in RAW, you need to edit to get all that detail out of your shot. Okay, so that's all I really need to do. I don't need to take too many shots. I'll do one more just because I like it so much. Okay, we've got some nice reflections going on. Yeah, got some nice colour now. Now it's looking nice. And yeah, just having that green in the shot as well, that's, yeah, I really like that mixture of colours. Okay, and again now, just by speeding up the shutter speed, I'm going to expose, and I'm just looking at the histogram. That's all I'm looking at. Make sure my histogram isn't touching the right side, which there it's touching, there it's just under. So then I know I've got all my highlight detail. Okay, so I know in those 2 shots, so in that one I've got all my shadow detail, and that one I've got all my highlight detail. Okay, and again, because we're shooting into the sun and because it's getting late, oh, we're getting a nice starburst there. Let me just quickly, okay, so I want a starburst. I'm going to put my aperture up to f16. Sorry, let me just quickly get this. I can just see that sun peeking through. The sun's just peeking through. That's going to give us a nice starburst. Let me give the camera back to Jack while I get this sorted. Yeah, I want that starburst. Did I get it? Oh, did I? Almost. So with a starburst, I'm going to go up to f22. I want to slightly over it. We're at 20 seconds. Let's see if it stays out for 20 seconds. That exposure is a bit too long because the sun's going to be moving. Within 20 seconds, we might lose that sun. I should have taken my filter off, but yeah, now that we've actually got some colour, it's looking nice now. It's yeah, welcome to Hervey Bay. This is what I've been waiting for. Some colour. This is really nice. Okay, so now that I've got my supposed starburst, I'm just going to take my aperture back down where I want it. Get that foreground. And I will take my filter off soon. I've got an MD64 on at the moment, so that's cutting out 4 stops of light. Is it 4 stops or 6 stops? So I will take that off soon. Actually, you know what? I'll leave it on. Let's do some long exposures. Let's do some really nice long exposures. Got plenty of my half-second shutter speeds in the last stream. This one, let's get some nice long exposures with this one, and we can blend a few together. Let's give that a crack. The only problem with long exposures, yeah, you start to get movement in the tree. So I don't know if I really want to do a separate exposure just for the tree. Now, I've got plenty of shots where I am. I'm going to move. I'm going to get down in the water. And again, now that I've probably taken more shots than I needed of that tree. So now I'm going to get down, just change composition. Okay, get down into the water this time. And go about there somewhere. So I'm just framing it up. So I've got this rock coming in on the right side of the frame. I've got these rocks coming in from the left side. Everything's pointing towards the tree. And then I've got my sunset over this side. I'm just going to check my focus again, and I'm just going to focus on the tree at the moment. Shooting at f10 on an ultra wide angle lens, if I focus on that tree, I know that that's going to be in focus. Everything in front will be in focus, and we'll have that. Look at that now. That's really nice. It's, yeah. So yeah, thank you for all joining me. It's look at that. That looks really nice. All right, I've got my foreground exposure. I'm going to expose for the sky now. So again, just speed up that shutter speed. Wow, that's really nice. That's really nice. Look at that. Wow. That's really nice. I'm really happy with that. Have I said that enough? Do you think I've said that enough? Now, but I've got that shot that I really like. I'm just going to keep moving around, okay? Because that's getting back further away from that tree so I can get more sky in, pretty much. So the further I get away from this tree, the more sky I can start to get. And now I'm going to frame it up, because we've got so much going on in the sky. I'm going to frame it up so I get even more sky than foreground. Or half-half. I've got about half-half. Still want all this in my foreground because it looks nice. Getting some nice side light. But that sun now, look at that. That's really, really nice. So I think we're going to end up with a few shots to edit this time too. And that's what I reckon, you know, when you've got a sky like this that's starting to do stuff, take lots of shots, okay? Don't waste it. And don't keep taking shots in the same spot. Move around, okay? Just even, as you saw, I've only moved 1 foot to the left. And that's enough just to change composition and make things look a little bit more interesting. Okay, so now I'm getting to that stage where the tree and the sun are just a bit too far apart. But this is, as far as composition goes, I am just very happy. I love this spot. It's easy. It's a nice, easy spot. Once the tide gets in higher, we'll get some nice movement over there as well. I might just come back a little bit further. Let's come back here a little bit. I'll show you the back of the camera soon. Okay, so again, I'm just moving ever so slightly just to change up my composition so I'm not ending up with so many shots exactly the same. Okay. So it's basically the same composition, just slightly different versions of it, as you'll see in the editing, when it comes to the editing stream. So yeah, for anyone who's new to the channel, this is something that I want to start really pushing, and that's live streams. Okay, I'd love to see other photographers out there and just hear their thought process on how they go about getting their shots. This is amazing. Look at that. Look at those photos. So they're for my foreground and then for the sky. Okay, looking really nice. I'm extremely happy with what's going on at the moment. I don't want to get too many in the one spot, so I'm going to keep moving, but only slightly. Now that rock there, I don't like. I'm going to adjust that rock. I don't like adjusting things, but I just don't like the way it's pointing. That's better. Look at that. That's really nice. Just make sure my tripod's nice and solid. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. And yeah, there's literally not a breath of wind at the moment, so that tree is staying nice and still for me. But look at this. Have a look at that. That is an epic sunset. These shots are going straight to the pool room. These are looking really nice. We've just got everything going on. And the good thing is, like, as far as composition goes, everything's happening in between that tree and the sunset. There's not much happening over there. So everything is framed up here, which is, you know, this is when everything just lines up. And everything is certainly lining up quite nicely. Okay, and having that long exposure as well is making things look really good. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to wet this rock. And I'll show you the difference between a wet rock and a dry rock when it comes to the photos. So I've taken one shot with that rock nice and dry. And now I'm going to take one with it wet. And you watch how much more shine it gets when we get to the editing. But I could almost edit these tonight when I get home. Who's up for a double live stream? Because we've got some friends coming up tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll be in any state to live stream tomorrow night. We'll see. I might do another live stream tonight, to tell the truth. We'll see. Let's get tonight over and done with first. Let's get this live stream finished, and look at that. This is where you just got to forget about the camera sometimes and just sit back and enjoy it. Just sit back and soak it in. That's I'm going to try and get my start. Now that we've got the sun about to set, I'm just going to put my aperture up again. So I'm up to f22. I'll just see if I can get a starburst. If I can get that sun setting with a nice little starburst, that could be pretty cool. Okay, so shooting at ISO 100. I'm always shooting at ISO 100. I have a little rule that I only always start at ISO 100 and only increase it as I need it. Okay, so if I get to the stage where my aperture's as wide open as it can be and my shutter speed is as slow as it can be, that's when I'll start to play with ISO. So at the moment, you know, I'm still shooting well under 30 seconds, so I don't need to increase my ISO until we start to lose light. Okay, with landscapes. Wildlife's a completely different story. Wildlife and sports, I'll cover that in another video, but yeah, wildlife and sports, it's all about shutter. It's all about shutter speed. Look at that. That's really nice. And you know what? Blue hour is going to be nice too. So Jack might get some sore arms by tonight. Because I think we might be hanging around for a while. That is really nice. All right, and again, with that tide coming in, where's my bag? You've got it? Okay. With that tide coming in, what's that? Jack said thank you, Matt. So Jack can read the chat. I'm just going to wet these rocks because I do like nice shiny rocks. Now I'm probably only going to get one or two more shots before we lose this sun. So let me get back even further. And again, I'm kind of keeping everything. I'll show you when we get home and do the editing. It might not be tonight, but yeah, when we do the editing, I'm using leading lines in a certain way. Okay, so in other words, I've got this rock running through the bottom of my frame, which I'll show you in a second. I just want to get these shots while that sun's still glowing, because we're in about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to lose it. We'll lose that colour soon. And then I'll start showing you some of the shots. Look at that, that's really nice. Okay, so again, I can almost get all this in one shot now. Now that that sun's diffused, it's below the horizon, we can kind of get it. We've got nice even light now. We can almost get everything in one shot. But yeah, look at that. I am so glad I came out tonight. That was really nice. And yeah, we're losing. Look, I've got that many shots. I don't need any more. So what we'll do, we'll push back onto some dry rocks. Okay. Yeah, look, the sky still looks epic, but I don't think it looks any better than it did when I was taking photos. So let me grab that camera. So as you can see, we're just kind of losing that colour now. It's sort of, you know, it's got some nice pastel-y sort of colour to it. But compared to what I've got, G'day Christopher, welcome to the stream. Where is it? This is in Hervey Bay, Queensland, Australia. And it's been a long time since we've had some really nice clouds, so I'm getting a bit excited tonight. So yeah, Hervey Bay, Queensland in Australia. And yeah, thanks for joining in. Hope you enjoy what you're seeing. So yeah, basically live sunsets. So you're seeing it as it happens. It is beautiful. It's a really nice place, Hervey Bay. Perfect temperature all year round. And even the summers aren't too bad. So it's very nice up here. Okay, there's lots of colour going on everywhere. I'm just going to sit back and soak it all in for a bit because I've got some really good photos. I'll quickly spin around the camera and we'll have a quick look at some of them. Don't mind my camera. I didn't bring my gimbal today. I normally have a gimbal. So just, yeah, excuse the wonky camera at the moment. So let's have a quick look at some of these photos. So again, I've done multiple exposures. I've exposed for the sky. And look, the camera's just, it's not doing it justice, what you're seeing on the back of the camera. But yeah, see what I mean by composition, having this coming in from the corner of the frame and everything's kind of pointing towards that tree. And as the tide comes in, just sort of having everything pointing towards the tree. So there's, you know, an exposure for the foreground and then an exposure for the sky. So when it comes to editing, you'll get to see how I blend them all together. But look at that, that is, yeah, like I said, the phone's not doing this justice. These photos on the back of the camera look incredible. They really do. And then we're back out where, even the ones where we were before, they're the faster shutter speed ones, but look at some of these with the long exposures. Okay, and all of these were one shot, so I'll sort of show you the difference between a compromise and trying to capture everything in one shot compared to doing multiple exposures. And that's about it. They're kind of all my shots so far. But these last few, look at that. That is, I'm very happy with them. The sky makes such a difference. By the time I blend that and that together, they're going to look really nice. And even these ones, really, yeah, like I said, the camera's not doing these justice. They look, the phone I should say, looking really good. So yeah, look, we've still got some colour going on, so I might just grab a few more shots while we're here. I might take my filter off as well while we're at it. Give the camera back to Jack. So yes, hello and thank you for joining in. We've got a full moon about to rise too. So tomorrow night is the full moon, and for anyone who's in Hervey Bay, tomorrow night we have a sunset moonrise. So the sun will set at 5:46 and the moon will rise at 5:50. So we're going to have a pretty epic sunset moonrise night.
Mum said, how much are you paying me?
How much am I paying you? We'll work that out when I get home. I might buy him a beer for his 18th. Alright, so I've got an ND64 on at the moment. So I'm going to take that off now because we're losing light. And I'm going to get long exposures as it is. I don't need that ND64 on there as well. I'll try not to drop this. Done that before. But I'd rather drop a filter than drop a lens, put it that way. So yeah, at the moment I'm using K and F filters, and look, they're okay. I have a few little issues with them, and the main issue is that all the photos tend to have a slight, very slight purple tint to them. So they're not perfect, but value for money, they're pretty good. I'm not going to lie, they weren't super expensive. They're not cheap lenses, filters. They're not super cheap filters, but they're not super expensive filters either. Okay, I don't buy expensive filters simply because I don't use them a lot. I tend not to use filters a lot. I've started using them because I've got them. But yeah, it's always handy to have some filters. Actually, I'll get Jack to put that backpack on again. So yeah, have the K&F filters, and yeah, look, I'm not going to do reviews on this channel. There's plenty of channels out there that do reviews. There's a few things that I've sort of told myself I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do these 5 tips that the pros tell you, and 5 tips to improve your sunsets. Okay, I will give you hundreds of tips. I'm not just going to give you 5. I'll give you lots of tips. Yeah, and look, it's every session is different. Okay, so you know, I could give you some tips about how to shoot a sunset, but then it all depends on what the sky's doing. Okay, like every sky is different, so it depends whether the sun's diffused, whether you got a bright sun, whether you got cloud. So yeah, look, there's general tips, and they're the tips that everyone gives. Rule of thirds, composition. But yeah, look, when it comes to tips, I'll sort of give you tips as I go, and that's kind of why I'm doing the lives. So by live streaming, you get to see my thought process on what the weather's doing, on what the conditions are doing, rather than going out and spending a week filming something, waiting for the conditions that you want. You're going to see the conditions that as they are. And for those people that have watched in the past, we've had plenty of conditions that haven't been great. Okay, we've had a few nights that have not been exactly ideal conditions, but we get what we can out of them. And that's the whole point of these live streams, is I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to go out, you know, some nights like tonight, make it all worthwhile, and we're going to have other nights that there's going to be nothing happening, and we're going to try and get something out of nothing. So now that like this is, you know, I've mentioned it before, this is when everybody leaves. This is the go home time for most people. But if you want to get some really epic shots, hang around until that blue hour kicks in, and all that grey will turn to oranges and purples and blues. I think there's just enough sky up there that we should get some colour. It's sort of hard to tell. It's sort of hard. It's very high grey cloud at the moment, but I reckon we'll still get some colour. So I am going to hang around till blue hour. By the time that happens, we may be back up there somewhere. So when we first got here, we'd probably be waist deep in water out where we were. So yeah, big tides. Full moon, big tides. We get 4 metre tides up here in Hervey Bay. So tonight's a 4.1 metre tide. The low tide was a 0.5. So yeah, pretty big tides. So yeah, we're gonna wait for blue hour. I don't bother taking shots at this time of night. Everything's just kind of grey and flat. But hang around, because I reckon in another 10 minutes we'll get our final wave of colour. And my favourite time of the night. The blue hour is my favourite time of the night. So once again, thanks to everyone who's in here. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Something different. Okay, I know it's a long time to stay here and watch. But yeah, feel free to come in and come out as you like. So like I said, in another 10 minutes time, things are going to be looking good. So it might be a good time to go and grab a coffee, grab a beer, have a toilet break, or just chat amongst yourselves in the chat.
You know what we should do for the next live stream?
Right.
Go to the boardwalk.
Yeah. Actually, yes, Jack just brought up an idea for our next stream, was to like go through the boardwalk and get some. We've got a few bearded dragons up here, so do a little bit of a wildlife session. So if you have any ideas for live streams, they don't all have to be sunsets. I would do a sunrise, but we'll see how we go with sunrise. The problem with sunrise is, for one, I've got to get set up during the dark. Okay, so when I do a sunrise, I always get there before first light. So I am literally in the dark when I get to a sunrise. So you're not really going to see anything for the first half an hour. I could always sort of turn it on once we're going, and I'll give it a try. Look, I'm pretty keen for especially our overseas viewers, because I do have quite a few overseas subscribers, and I would love to show them the Urangan Pier. Okay, it's what is it, 868 metres long. It's the second longest pier in Australia, and it makes for some really nice photos. The sun kind of rises in the middle of winter. The sun rises almost directly over the Urangan Pier. This time of year, it sort of you get some nice sunrise shots at the Urangan Pier, put it that way. So it would be nice to bring people along and show off our Urangan Pier. It's a very epic pier, very epic pier. Great idea, Jack. Claudia said, great idea. The bearded dragons. And if we look, there he is with all my gear. There's that full moon. Okay, so tomorrow night, that moon rise will be pretty much at sunset. So, yeah, I might keep an eye on my Facebook page. I might do something tomorrow night. Like I said, we've got some friends coming up, so I might not be in any state to live stream. Not that I'm going to drink, I just mean that, I might be having too much fun with my friends to live stream. I don't condone drinking, it's bad for your health. So yeah, we'll just be having some jokes and some good times. What are you laughing at? Alright, so look at where that tree was before. That's how quickly that tide's come in. So just in 5 minutes, we're pushing back up into the midgies and the mozzies.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Now I've just noticed it, and this is. Have a look at this. I've only just noticed this, but I reckon this could make for a really good shot. I'll just let Jack go past. So these are the things I'm always kind of on the lookout for. Keep going. Yeah, you can just keep going. Go up on the rocks because we will push back. Got like a nice little rock wall. So if I could get some water coming in through here, that could make for a good shot too. So always on the lookout for just interesting things for foreground. So when we've got those nights where the sky's really not doing anything, we can sort of concentrate on foreground and get some nice interesting shots. With the water lapping up over that, it's sticking up quite a bit. So yeah, that could be good. We're getting close to that blue hour now. You can sort of see the sky's really turning blue, getting that orange on the horizon. The only problem is this time of year, yeah, the sun does sort of set a little bit further. It's almost directly west at the moment. As we push into summer, it turns a bit more southwest, which means it starts to go inland. But I have plenty of other spots that I can take you. This is one of my favourite spots. It's easy to get to. Love that tree, love the rocks. But yeah, I've got plenty of other spots up here that are sort of more suited to the cooler months. So I might start getting ready to take some shots actually. We're getting to that blue hour. So as you can see, there's still the golden glow on the horizon, which is more pink to my eye. It's more pink. And yeah, that nice blue sky. So let me go and get framed up. I'll give you back to Jack. You should do a sunrise and invite the locals as well. Well, yeah, I am planning to invite a few people along to the live streams. And oh, g'day Charlie. How are you?
Charlie in the chat.
I would hire Jack for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely hiring him, but I wouldn't say I'm paying him. So his services are free at the moment.
Cheapskate.
But he is turning 18 soon, so he might get a beer for his 18th. I might buy him a single beer. So yeah, thanks for joining in. Thanks to everyone who's here. So yeah, good to see a few people watching this awesome Harvey Bay sunset. And look at that, that's blue hour. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking again. He should be doing it out of love. He is doing it out of love. He didn't have to. He's laughing at me. He didn't have to come here. He didn't have to. I told him that if he wants to have a beer, he has to come. The love of beer got him here. Nah, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. All right, now This is, yeah, all the colours over this way. I'm struggling to find something that I want in my foreground, to tell the truth. Because all the rocks are cutting through. They're all cutting through my scene, and I don't want them to cut through the scene. So I'm going to try and keep it as minimalistic as possible. So in other words, I'm getting out in the water. There's a nice little mangrove here. Let's see if we can frame that up. Oh, there's a crab floating down there. All right, nice steady tripod. Yeah, so if you're in the chat, leave a thumbs up for Jack. So leave a like for Jack and his efforts of being the cameraman for the day, because his dad forgot half his gear. Pro streamer I am at the moment. 100% pro streamer. Yeah, I don't like what's happening here. I'm just trying to find a composition, and I am struggling at the moment. That little mangrove is kind of cutting into my scene in a way I don't like. Yeah, look, I'm going to get this shot, and again, like I've mentioned before, I'm even going to take shots that don't work. So I'm going to take this. I don't think this works. So you'll get to see this later. You'll get to see this in the editing process, why I don't think it works. Because all our colours that way, but all our lines are running this way, and I can't really see anything that's leading me that way. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Like I said, I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you shots that work and shots that don't work. And I'll tell you what, the shots that I got earlier, they definitely worked. They were really nice. So I'm basically wasting time and making Jack hold that camera as long as possible. Because yeah, getting eaten by midgies and mozzies, they are pretty bad. You know what? I think we might call it. I am struggling for a composition at the moment. All the colours over the mainland, and I'm happy with what I've got. I have got some really nice shots. Oh look, let me just try one more. Yeah, I saw that crab. Yeah. All right, there's a nice little rock out here. Let me get out. Like I said, the tide's coming in quick, so I don't sort of want to be. Want to be out here for too long while that tide's coming in. Yeah, look, this composition's okay. Again, I'm going to show you later why I don't think it works. So tune in for the editing session. The editing session. I'm going to try and make it flow a little bit better too with the editing. Try not to talk as much and just get straight into the editing. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. And again, now we've got really soft light, so I can get all this in one shot. No multiple exposures here. So yeah, if you have any ideas, anything you want to see in a live stream, let me know. Drop it in the chat. Send me a message. Yeah, anything you'd like to see. Like I said, I don't want to just keep doing sunsets and sunsets all the time. I do want to mix it up a bit. Especially for our overseas viewers, because I know there's going to be people from overseas that are watching. And I know our sunrise will probably be a better time for you. Sunsets, it's probably early morning and a lot of you will be on your way to work. Yeah, look, it's okay. It's okay. Look, you stay there, Jack. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm just going to try one more thing. I'm not happy with these last few shots. And while we've still got a little bit of colour, and yeah, that'll do. I don't want to go out too far. I can get this tripod to sit somewhere. I just want to get one more. Nah, look, that's not going to work. I think I'm going to call it there. I'm sort of just trying to take, oh, sorry about the mic, trying to take shots for the sake of taking shots. I've got what I wanted. I'm really happy with what I've got. So thank you to everyone who joined in. Everyone thank Jack for being my cameraman for the day. Because, yeah, without him, trying to hold the phone and my camera at the same time
And your camera bag.
would have been hard. Yeah, so thank you all for joining in. Stay tuned for the editing session. I'm not sure when I'll do it yet, but I'll give you plenty of notice when I go to do the editing. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you enjoyed a nice Harvey Bay sunset, because it was a good one. That was a good one, and I'm really looking forward to seeing these photos, because I'm pretty happy with what I've got. So thank you all, and I will hopefully speak to you all again very soon. Let me just grab this camera back again. So yeah, I'll just quickly read the chat. So Claudia, no worry. Oh, that's Knots on the Bay. Thanks, Claudia. Charlie Roscoe. Good on you, lads. You guided me through the last half of work. Oh yeah, because you're still at work too. Charlie's in WA at the moment, so yeah, grab the tripod while I sign off. Yeah, so thank you to everyone who joined in. I hope you enjoyed that sunset, because that was a good one. That was a very good sunset. So everyone's saying good job, Jack. Yeah, thanks, Jack. And thank you all for joining in. So on that note, I'm going to get out of this water, because it's getting pretty deep already. And as you can see, it's very dark. It's almost night time. We've just got that last little bit of light. So thanks again, and hopefully I will see you all very soon for our editing session. All right, good night.